It's Monday, they insist. But she looks you dead in the eye and whispers, "No, it's Thursday." The lights flicker. She finishes your sentence before you say it. She knows things she shouldn't. And the scariest part, you're starting to believe her. Step into a psychological maze where time slips, thoughts aren't private, and the truth is the one thing you're forbidden to remember. Thought balloon: what comes after Thursday might erase everything. No one noticed at first. Not when she arrived at the office, not when she poured her coffee in that exacting way. 2 sugars, no cream, slow stir, for clockwise 2 counter. It wasn't unusual. People are creatures of habit. But when Eliza stopped mid-step at the elevator and whispered, "He's about to ask if the meeting is today," and then Dave behind her asked, "Wait, was the meeting today or tomorrow?" That's when I started paying attention. "Thursday," she said, eyes locked on mine. "It's Monday," I replied. She didn't blink. "No, it's Thursday." That was the first moment I felt the cold. Not physical cold, some other kind. The kind that settles in your stomach when your car's brakes fail, or when you realize a stair is missing beneath your foot. That cold. I laughed. I didn't. Everyone else swore it was Monday. Clocks, phones, digital displays. Everything said Monday. But Eliza was terrifyingly certain. And worse, after that morning, she started finishing my sentences. First it was minor. "I think we should move. The report to next week, I know," she'd say, pen still moving across the page. Then deeper. "I haven't even told anyone about the thing with your brother." "I know," she said again, eyes not even on me. I started losing time. I black out for seconds. Once, I looked down and saw an email I didn't remember writing, already sent. Another time, I found myself in the stairwell, halfway down, without knowing how I'd gotten there. She would be there too, sometimes waiting. "I told you it was Thursday," she'd say. I tried to get clever. Tried to catch her off guard. At lunch I asked, "If it's Thursday, what's the headline in today's paper?" Without missing a beat, she said, "Market falls, questions about defense contracts." She was right. The paper came out at noon. Exactly that headline. I started checking her desk, watching her closely. I found no clippings, no tech, no tricks. Just the steady confidence of someone anchored to something the rest of us weren't. Time itself, perhaps. A different stream of it. She was always calm, always watching. Once I caught her staring at me. When I looked up, she mouthed, "You forgot again." Began testing people. Asking what day it was in different ways. Always Monday. Except Eliza. Always Thursday. The others noticed nothing strange. Her name slipped into conversations like any other coworkers. But when I pressed, "Have you noticed anything off about Eliza?" they'd shrug. "She's just quiet. Just quiet. Just watching." Kept notes. Tracked what she said, how often she finished my thoughts. I hid the notebook in my locked drawer. The next day, I found a single sentence written inside in her handwriting. "You shouldn't have done that." Sleep became impossible. I'd hear her voice before I opened my eyes. "You forgot again." Over and over. Once, I tried to confront her. "What do you want from me?" She tilted her head. "I want you to see." "See what?" Her eyes bored into mine. "You think it's Monday." I slammed my hand on the desk. "It is Monday." She didn't flinch. "Not for you. Not anymore." I left work early that day, but I didn't remember getting home. My phone said Monday. My TV said Monday. But the sky looked like Thursday. I couldn't explain how I knew. Just did. The walls in my apartment started feeling too close. My thoughts slipped, became circular. I began to question if I'd ever known the day. Memories blurred. What had I done yesterday? Last week? Why couldn't I recall the last Sunday? The next time I saw Eliza, I asked her straight, "Are you in my head?" She smiled. "No. You're in mine." I started crying. Not out of fear, not exactly. Out of the unbearable pressure of not knowing what was real. "Why me?" Her face softened. "Because you asked." "Asked what?" "You looked too long at the wrong moment. You wondered what was underneath the day. You asked what came before Monday. I remembered. Vaguely. A thought I'd had half asleep once, idly. What if the days were wrong? You pulled the thread, she said. Now you see it unravel. I looked around. Office walls were glitching subtly, edges blurring, light coming from strange angles. This isn't real. It's Thursday, she said again. But not here. I laughed. Wept. I screamed. But no one noticed. They typed emails, answered phones, drank coffee on Monday. But I knew. I could hear the seconds in my ears. They didn't line up. And Eliza was always ahead. Always finishing what I started. Now I'm writing this in a notebook I don't remember buying. In ink I didn't put in my pen. She says I need to finish the sentence. She says, it ends when you know what comes after Thursday. And I think I do. Think I. The sentence stops. Not because I don't know how to finish it, but because someone else finishes it for me. Eliza's voice, quiet, from behind me. Wake up on Friday. My body stiffens. I turn around but she's not there. Not in the room. Not even in the building, I think. And yet her voice lingers, like it had been pressed into the air long before I ever sat down. I look at the clock. The hands are spinning. Time is spinning. I try the door. It's locked even though I never locked it. The knob pulses under my hand. A rhythmic click 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 like a heartbeat. Something's wrong. Something's folding. Back away. The floor ripples slightly underfoot. I stare at the notebook. The page I just wrote on is gone. Replaced by a clean one. No ink. No title. Just one instruction. Printed in impossibly neat handwriting. Remember Friday. Shout. Pound the walls. Try to scream for help. But my voice comes out wrong, like static through a detuned radio. No one hears me. Or if they do, they don't respond. And then, just as I collapse onto the floor, exhausted, the lights flicker, and I see her. Eliza, standing beside the desk, head tilted again. Calm as always. The way she always is when she knows what's coming next. You're close, she whispers. I shake my head. To what? What do you want from me? I told you. I want you to see. See what? She kneels beside me, places her fingers lightly on my temple. Her eyes aren't brown like I remembered. They're gray, almost silver like metal under ice. Friday isn't a day, she says. It's a key. A key to what? She doesn't answer. Not directly. Instead, she takes a breath, as though inhaling something I can't see. Do you remember the color of the sky the day your memory broke? Try. I strain. Nothing comes. I know. I don't. You don't remember because it was Friday. You weren't supposed to be there. She helps me up. The walls fade to white. The room begins dissolving at the corners like paper soaked in water. And I realize, too late, that I've never seen this room in daylight. I don't even remember walking into it. Eliza, I whisper. What am I? She smiles. Not cruelly. Not kindly. Just patiently. You're the one who asked. That makes you the crack. The crack in what? In the clock. Blink. When I open my eyes again, I'm standing at my desk. The office is humming with life. Emails, laughter, footsteps. I glance at the date on my computer. Friday. I stare at it for a long time. Then Dave walks by, coffee in hand. Hey, was the meeting today or Monday? Turn slowly. And I say without thinking, Thursday. His face pales slightly. Wait, what? I watch him. Closely. I know what he'll ask next. 'Cause now I can hear it. All of it. The seconds. Thoughts. Cracks in time. And I realize. I never knew what came after Thursday. But I do now. Well, do.